Good evening and welcome to your immediate post-match reaction video after Rangers have defeated Dundee 3-0 in the end. It felt a lot more cagey than that 10 minutes ago, let me tell you. My name's Iain Mitchell and I'm joined by JB. JB, just let us know your thoughts, your very raw thoughts of how that went today.
Yeah, I think delighted with the result. I think there was long periods of the game where it was almost kind of had that feeling, that sinking feeling of, oh no, it's not going to be one of them. But to be fair, Dundee didn't really threaten. So no, I think in the main we've got to be delighted with that. Obviously we'll get to the results in Edinburgh as well in terms of the impact that's going to have to the title race. But no, I think a bit of relief. I thought the manager made the right change at the right time, and they've gone on to have the impact and kind of just put the game to bed. So no, delighted, and as I say, it was cracking atmosphere to finish the afternoon off.
Yep, today was a big one for me. I think we've all said it all week that everyone's eyes were on Tynecastle. Everyone was keen to see how that game goes for us and the other two teams in this title race, obviously. We just had to win. You know, I think when it was 1-0, it was a bit cagey, it was stressful in here, but a very big win, I think, today could turn out to be. We're going to go through the whole game, the moments that matter, the lineups, and then, as you say, touch on the Tynecastle result and where that leaves things. JB, we'll go right back to the start and the lineup. Got in front of you there. What was your immediate thought seeing that 11 picked today? Any surprises in
there? No, sorry, I'm just watching the substitutes getting told to do the sprints, and Deji Gazama doesn't seem too happy that he's been asked to do some sprinting there. But anyway, no, in terms of the starting 11, it was kind of looked at and you go, okay, yeah, that works. Quite exciting, obviously, seeing Skov Olsen named on there.
Yep.
I say, if we just touch on him first of all, I thought you could see there's glimpses of quality. Obviously, you can't expect him to come in and be fully up to speed from day one after not playing a lot of football.
I think he's played 40 minutes since the start of November, so he's going to have a few.
He's going to have a few, but you could see there was glimpses there. So no, that was good. And then obviously Chukwani in the midfield. Interesting. I think me and you were debating in terms of what position we thought he was going to play, and then what position he did play. He shows signs of a 6, signs of an 8. And
he's quite all action.
He's all in.
Yeah.
You described him during the game quite similar to Diamandi in terms of his approach to the game, but he showed again moments, big powerful lad, and again hopefully one that once he gets settled, but plenty of game time, gets to understand his teammates, someone that can turn out to be a really good signing for us. So it was, as I say, yeah, just walking through the 11. But Butland, Tavernier, well, this is a number order, but Butland, Tavernier, Olsen, Asgard, Dijiga, Miovski, Magoma, Fernandez, Chukwani, Raskin, and more. I think the Chemeti was the kind of question mark.
Yep.
Is everything okay there? I think the manager said pre-match he was actually ill, as opposed to any injury.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's fit and ready and good to go for Thursday, because he'll have a point to prove over in Portugal. But no, I don't think there was any major shocks from the 11. But yeah, it was good to see that we had options on the bench.
That was my next question. You said that pre-game. It's a good looking bench. There's a couple of question marks in there, but yeah, a good bench. And again, it's a good squad. If you want to win a title, you need a good squad.
Right. So definitely someone tuning in from Australia there. Colin Cameron. There you go. Definitely worth staying up for. And we've got some people in from France as well. That. So
it's not as cold as it is here, let me tell you.
Yeah, glad to have you.
So I was going to say into the game, but we had a nice 5-minute delay at the start because VAR, we don't quite know what was going wrong with it, but it wasn't working in some way. We saw Clancy talk to the managers, the captains. I think we thought it wasn't on, but God knows, so we'll learn that later.
Well, it would have been nice if they could have informed the 50,000 people that were inside the stadium that are paid to get in what was going on, because it just seemed like Scottish football refereeing, it just overall shambolic.
Yeah, we'll come to that more, don't worry. Plenty of refereeing stuff to get into there. But the game started eventually, and it was very cagey. I think we both thought it'd be that kind of high-octane, energetic start, Rangers pushing on from the front foot straight away, but it wasn't that today at all. The first maybe 15, 20 minutes especially, pretty even game. Dundee probably just shared more of the ball. It's a slow start, wasn't it?
Really slow start, yeah. It was almost it was a little bit of it almost felt like it was a cup game and we were 3-0 up. And it was almost the case, right, we'll take it nice and easy. Lots of balls getting played backwards, lots of probing, but without actually doing anything. So yeah, it was kind of, we were desperate for that first goal. And I say getting in it was almost the case of, if we don't score here in the first half, whilst we had the momentum and whilst the Dundee, we weren't giving much away to Dundee, it was always, is it going to be one of them sticky afternoons with maybe could it have been the pressure that's that the club have put on the fans and the players, was it just a wee bit too much? It was really vocal pre-match.
Well, it's going to be quite new to a lot of them. We've obviously 2 debuts in there, but if you look at guys like Fernandes, Magoma, Asgard, Jigger, they've never been. Oh, Jigger maybe. Sorry, I'm Red Star, but they've not been in a title race before.
No,
they've not had the big weekend of like big teams at the top playing each other, and we have to do our work. It's new to most of these guys.
No, it's really high expectation on the players today, and I say you could kind of see once we got the second, you could kind of just see the players just kind of take a big breath and go.
Me as well.
Yeah, I was as well, to be fair, but it was almost like I don't think Gassama probably takes that shot on if the game's only 1-0.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And yeah, but again, that's what they're paid the big money to do, is to handle that responsibility. But just keep racking, as we've said a few times, just keep racking the wins away. Just keep chipping away week by week. Keep doing better than the opposition, the 2 opposition clubs in and around us, and we won't be a million miles away come May.
Absolutely. We did manage to get the ball in the net. I did write down there a lack of urgency / it's the Kevin Clancy show, but I'll come back to Clancy at some point. Also, I've skipped one. Chukwuani's miss. This is what I mean. He had the goal that then got ruled to offside, which I mean we knew it was offside way before the ref, so again, don't know why it took so long. But he then missed the one just before half time when he was through. Didn't really look like he knew what he was doing in a way. That's a little harsh maybe, but he just hits it at the goalie. You said if he puts it through his legs, it's perfect, but when you miss it, question mark.
He didn't look comfortable in a one-on-one position. And then there was one just before the half where he's picked the ball up and he drove 20 yards. He's beat 2 men. He's drove into the box, and you're thinking, right, lad, sit up. It sat up there, get a shot away, and he's tried to put the ball into where there was an army of men. And it was really too tight. But as we touched on earlier, I think you can see that he's got some tools. He's going to be he's a powerful runner with the ball. If there's a space to run into, he's eating that ground up really quickly. I think in terms of his goal threat, again, we'll just have to wait and see whether that's there, because we are going to need goals from all corners of the pitch. But no, I thought he was good. I say that chance in particular. Just jumping back to the offside goal, one thing that obviously won't be remembered because it was half a yard offside was Scov Olsen. I'm sure it was Scov Olsen. He put it on a plate, and the big fella was in there. So again, he's comfortable to get in the box and get himself in and around. But again, as you touched on earlier, that the big fella might have been nervous. I know he's come from Sturmgratz, questioned myself.
Yes.
Yeah, Sturmgratz, of course it was. He's come over from there where, again, they've had an expectation of trying to be successful. But the noise in here today, the big crowd, the young lad, but hopefully they're all the better for it, and they can see if you get this fan base on side, they'll carry it a long way. And I thought it was really good, really good.
Absolutely. There was one more chance before half time, and it was the Fernandes overhead kick.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I thought he could have just headed it, but Fernandes does what he wants in the box, chests it, turns on it. It's like that Ronaldinho free kick from back in the day. I think he's an inch wide of the post. Our angle's not perfect for it, so maybe it has gone wider. But if that got in,
no, he was
just overall hit today, but he was good again, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, James Tavernier got the sponsors man of the match because of the importance. I think we thought we were going to win 1-0 at that point when that was announced. But no, for me, I thought Fernandes was man of the match. I thought he was just so comfortable. He has got this lethargic way, a little bit about him, which gives you the fear. But I thought he's stepping up to be a really big leader within this group. He doesn't shut up. It's one of the things you can see from the gantry, especially in the second half. Plenty of talk on him. He loves a Cruyff turn, which again, as I say,
my heart drops when
he's pinged a couple of balls in behind for Magoma. He's physical in both boxes. He's very comfortable on the ball. Sometimes I say a wee bit too comfortable, and he's another one who can drive into the midfield, so he gets us from A to B quickly. So I'm delighted with him, and the big fellas. You can see he's growing in confidence and good on him.
I did mention I'll come back to Clancy. How were there 2 minutes added at halftime? Let me just recap. There was the VAR decision that took a couple of minutes to check. There was a pitch invader, which I still don't know what side of the ground he came from, but he was on. The time wasting from the Dundee goal kicks, corners, throw-ins, as you'd expect. I'm not going to sit and hate on them for doing that. It's pretty normal away side behaviour at Ibrox, but 2 minutes added.
Yeah, I mean, I said to you, because we're obviously desperate for that first goal. I said to you, what do you think it'll be? Will it be 4, 5, 6, 7? And it came up as 2. And it just struck me as the referee today, he wanted to be a pantomime villain because he was given really strange decisions. There was one in the first half where was it Raskin? No, Asgard, the defenders got the wrong side of him.
He's
Asgard rolled him.
Yep.
He's grabbed him by the neck and shirt collar and dragged him to the ground. And the referees give a free kick, but then looked stunned the fact that the Rangers players were looking for a yellow card for it. And
we were through 2v1 in that moment as well. Not just the foul, it's what that led to.
I just thought his overall performance today was horrendous. And I think it's important that we do talk about that even when we are winning games.
Yeah.
Because I say we can be if things don't go your way, it can sound like sour grapes. But again, it was just another example of the horrendous refereeing that the lads need to deal with. But
yep.
We'll move on.
Thankfully. Now, the second half, before I come to that, because the second half obviously ends quite well, no spoiler there, but it's a good second half for us. But at half time, how are you feeling? How are the nerves? How is the anxiety when you're looking at your phone? Celtic are winning at the time.
Yeah.
We're struggling. I would say we're struggling against Dundee. It was a better end to the half, but wasn't exactly free flowing. Kind of wondering where's the goal coming from here? How are the nerves at half time?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too concerned that Dundee were ever going to score. I was just more worried that it was going to be just a real flat performance from our forward players, and we weren't going to, because they were very stuffy, they were very organised, they had quite a lot of energy.
Yeah,
the big fella in the midfield, that didn't catch his name, was he the captain? But
Luke Graham was at the back, was captain, but
he was. They were everywhere, and you could see they were covering a lot of ground, and thought, right, these are just really stuffy. But one thing I've got real faith in the manager that if he'll see things and make subtle tweaks around the edges to do things a wee bit different, and I think he done that. There was a couple of little position where Mikey Moore coming in allowed the space in behind for Magoma, which then the Dundee forwards didn't know whether to stick or twist. There wasn't as many easy options for their back four to walk out because we condensed everything really tightly. So, no, I think. As I say, the team's growing. The team's growing in confidence, and they're working for each other. As I say, it might just take a few weeks again to get these extra 2 or 3 lads in, get them settled, get them clicking. And yeah, but to your point, nervous. But I was back to the point earlier. I was also mindful that we had decent quality on the bench. That if we did need to do something to freshen it up, we had the likes of Gassama who could come on. We had the Albanian Prince. There was options. You know what I mean? So no, it was good.
You love that boy. Straight in the second half, and straight away Rangers get a penalty. Now, in real time, I think we all thought, is that a little soft? I thought, again, from where we are, it's a bit far away, but I thought the boy had deflected Raskin's shot away over. But looks at Raskin, gets there first, fires it over. Maybe should score. That's another problem. But he does catch Raskin. We got the replay straight away. Looked a pretty stonewall penalty for me. I don't know how VAR is working at this point today, but VAR checked it, and if Clancy gives a penalty, it's a penalty.
It's stonewall, yeah. It was reckless from the defender. It was kind of, I can see what he's tried to do. He's tried to be brave and tried to get himself on the end of the shot, but he's misjudged it. I think it might have been quite high. As I say, we've only had the one replay, so I don't know if anyone in the comments can clear it up. Whether he caught him at kind of like shin height, and then as soon as the referee pointed to the penalty, you could see the Dundee players weren't impressed. Went to VAR. The more we've seen a couple of more replays, we kind of seen, there's a good chance that's getting given, and it did, thankfully. And fair play to the captain. I mean, 50,000 eyes on you, everyone just watching it every step, and he slotted away in the corner.
But he's going to. I said that to you. He's going to score. Again, he has his faults. He shouldn't be relied on as much as he has been this season, Tavernier. But again, big moments. Big players step up, and it's exactly what he's done.
Keeper went the right way, so it had to be good. I mean, I don't actually know whether he got maybe a half hand.
That's what he did.
Did he just touch it into the corner a bit more? But it was really well struck, and it was just a hell of a release for us, because the longer the game goes on, as great as the Rangers crowd will be, there's been a few moans and groans, and that could have stepped onto the players in terms of the anxiety kind of starting to show through, but. No, he slotted it, and it set us up for an exciting end to the game.
It did. We got a couple of subs not long after that. Diomande and Gassama came on for Scott Olsen and Chuck Luani. Again, it's the two new guys. You're not expecting them to play 90 minutes, and Diomande and Gassama are, I was going to say, seasoned professionals in terms of Rangers pressure, but Diomande especially, those two came on, and Gassama gets his goal. We'll come to that, but Diomande came on. They're both pretty good as well. Just done what they had to do a lot of stages.
No, professional performance from the two of them. I thought Diomande, you could see he's got a lot of energy, Diomande, and I think sometimes when he starts games, sometimes it's almost a case of does he sometimes run himself into the ground, making kind of pointless runs, especially when you're having so much of the ball. But I thought today he was really clever with his runs in possession. He was very dogged. So when he had the ball back, he was very sensible in his decision making. A couple of times he done a really nice turn and maybe didn't pick the right pass or a bit undercooked. But I thought as he got on, he got right stuck in. And again, feels I'm saying confidence after every sentence, but he's somebody I think needs
since
it.
Parkhead, but he's been a different player.
I think he needs it, and I think with Chukwani coming in, and you've got Raskin, and then you've got Dio. You've got options there to be able to flip that round if you're then going to still play with like a 10, if you will.
Yep.
So, and you can keep them fresh. And if you're wanting them guys to play that high energy game, being able to rotate them after an hour or 70 minutes, whatever it might be, then it's good to have that option. And again, got all the faith in the world that the manager's going to be setting us up for success with that.
Williams jumped ahead of me here because my next question was going to be on Telo Asgard. The next action in the game was Mikey Moore playing him through. This is the one where he chops back, sort of loses control of it. You thought he should have shot first time. I thought he was right to cut back, but if you do that, you need to control it. But what did you make of Asgard? Because he's got a guy who was written off, has now got some numbers to his game. I thought he was pretty tidy to it. Maybe not as effective as I want him to be, but he was decent.
I thought he done okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm still frustrated because I've seen quite a lot of him prior to him signing for the club.
Yep.
And he's got a lot to his game that we still haven't seen. He's a strong ball carrier. He's very two-footed. He's very dynamic. I think, and I've said this on a few pods, I think he's bulked up too much in terms of maybe the gym work because he used to be very agile and used to kind of go past people as if he's not there, which you still see at times. But he almost doesn't seem to have the same amount of energy that I would have expected to have. He's still a young lad. I mean, he's 23, 24, thereabouts. So I would have expected him to kind of be showing that high energy. He always seems to be a little bit laboured, but as I say, he's been contributing. He's creating chances. He's contributed with goals. What's that? I think he was 4 in. That'll be 4 and 6 now.
Yeah, I think goal contributions is something like 6 and 8 as well. So again, good assist, decent numbers for a guy in midfield.
He does the dirty work as well in both boxes. So no, he's a good option to have. Let's say that.
Yeah, just like the rest, like you're saying in midfield, if you've not playing Diomande, Raskin, you've got another option there in number 10. So absolutely. We have a few corners, a few half chances. I've wrote down here that we need a second because again, the feeling at the time was a bit nervous, a bit cagey. We know we've got most of the control, but it just takes one corner, one free kick, one penalty for what it is. Barami comes on for Asgard. I think we both were surprised to see both Barami come on and surprised to see Asgard go off. Paid off pretty well in the end. That's why we're not managers, obviously. I've then wrote down that became 2 each at Tynecastle. Now, it's not relevant to our game as such, but the lift that gave the crowd, and again, some people may wanted Celtic to win, some people wanted the Hearts win. I think the draw, when you're sort of in the moment, feels ideal. It feels right. And this crowd got a lift from that.
The crowd definitely got a lift because, as I say, it was. I think the crowd knew before us because we were obviously keeping an eye on the live score and all the different apps in terms of the score notifications and stuff. So nothing was coming through, and you're thinking, "Wait, there's something's going on." I didn't know there was an Operation Tango with some false news slipping through. But then, obviously, confirmation that had gone in. I believe Celtic actually got a red card as well.
Yes.
So
shot corner.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it must have been a stonemaler. I'm sure VAR had a right good look at that. But in terms of it did give everybody a wee bit of a lift. You could kind of you could see the players, Raskin especially, was looking around going, what's happening? And then people are giving it the 2 alls, and he's like, right, okay. And so yeah, I think before the game, I think we ummed and ahed, didn't we? We said, did we want them to win? Did we want a Hearts win? Did we want to draw? What was kind of best? And you could argue for them all. But now the dust has settled, I'm more than delighted. 3 big goals as well in terms of that's 3 goals brought back on the goal difference, which could be vital come the end of the season.
We saw Majowski and Moore go off. Just going to touch on Majowski. Pretty poor. Again, I know Chimette has his faults, but he gives you that focal point, gives you a bit of hold up, nice touches. I'm not really seeing what Majowski's given us at all right now, and that's a guy who got a hat-trick 2 games ago. What's going wrong there?
Yeah, I just, as you say, I kind of don't know what he's good at. I thought he was going to be a bit of a killer in front of goal. I thought he was going to get himself into loads of goal-scoring opportunities. You could maybe argue from his perspective, nothing was created for me today. As in, I'm the Rangers number 9. I should at least have 2 or 3 chances created for me over the whatever he was on 80 minutes. So from his defence, you could probably argue that, but he won a couple of headers. But again, the team's not built for that long ball from Miovski flick. Nobody was anticipating he was ever going to win it. I just thought, again, back to the point earlier, his hold-up play is not particularly great. He's not particularly strong. I know.
He should be, but the size of him, the stature,
he should be putting himself about. But a few times he plays like a man who's very frustrated. There's a few times where he's pointed, especially to Tav, because we know Tav's got the quality to drop that ball in behind for him to chase onto, and that's what he was brilliant at Aberdeen. And there was a few times in the first half I said to you, look, he's pointing for it, but it's obviously not. It's not the way that we want to play. I'm assuming that we don't want to be dropping balls in behind for our hopeful balls in behind. We want to try and be a bit more tactical, a bit more balanced.
Not when you've got guys like Moore and Scott Olsen on the wings, so they're not like pace demons the way Gassama might have been. But if you get they two, you're trying to play through the lines, not long ball.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I think about Miovski, the goal he scored against Goldson up in the Copeland a few years ago for Aberdeen. Ball over the top, awkward. We muscled through, and got a finish. I think he scored a hell of a lot of goals like that at Aberdeen. And then I thought that's the type of striker we were going to see. I think it does alert us though that we do need an extra striker. I think Danilo coming off the bench took his goal well, fair play. Chimiti, we know, is work in progress, shall we say.
It's put it very nicely.
I definitely think, I don't know who, got no names. I'm not saying Thomas Muller. I know that link's been done a few times, but I just want maybe an experienced player who can just in front of goal, if he gets a chance, he's calm, he's collected, he's in the goal scoring area, and I said it a couple of times, just a killer in front of goal.
I knew the word was coming. Yeah, it's spot on. Ironically, we then go 2-0 up thanks to our killer Danilo. Again, I wasn't overawed to see Danilo come on because I just think he's not there just now. He's not putting full effort in my opinion. I don't know if I thought he had half an eye on a move. I didn't know if he's applying himself properly, but he takes this goal very well. It's obviously a Dundee mix up at the back. I think the pass just wrongly goes to him, but it's not a tap in. He has to run, he has to hold the ball. Looks like a really good finish. We've only seen it back the once, but really good play, and the relief that went through the stadium. Massive. It was. I think I used the phrase here. It was like the pressure cooker just got switched off. It was like, right, it's fine. We're okay. We're so damaged. I know. It was almost the case of we were kind of fearing the worst naturally, but I thought it was everyone just looked at each other, just went, "Thank you so much, thanks God," without bringing Big Marv into it. It was just a relief, as I say. We've done really well, as I say. What we've been very critical of our players for the press. And sometimes they're just not there. They're just that half yard off it. But he's took it well. He ran through, and it was a really just composed finish. I think one that not many in the squad I would bank Gassama maybe at times, but Danilo's probably the one that albeit he's not the fastest. His hold up's questionable. His power is very questionable, but that finishing thing, he's still got that. You heard Neil McCann, I think, on Sky Sports over before he got the Kilmarnock job. He was talking about Danilo, and he said he's a real delicate finisher. Do you know what I mean? He'll never put his laces through it. He'll always try and find the corner, find the placement. So I think there's obviously been a gap there for him to hit. I haven't seen any. We've only obviously seen the goal once, but I imagine if you see it from behind the goal, I imagine there's been quite a bit of goal to aim at. And he's delivered it. So no, I think it was just great to get that one under the belt, because then you can take a sit back and just go, right, breathe. Let's keep an eye on what's going on up in Edinburgh. You can then a few of the players can start to express themselves in the last few minutes, which Gassama did. So take that away, because the second lead to the third, Gassama with a chop back, very akin to his goal. I think it was at Dundee. I think I'm remembering that right. He scored late on there as well. It's a really good finish. Again, we've seen it back the once. Maybe there's questionable goalkeeping or something in there, but that'll do him the world of good. Because the goal means nothing result-wise, but that's his first goal in a good number of games, a good few weeks. It's a guy that's lacking confidence. That's exactly what you want. Exactly. Yeah, no, and we know we can do that. We've seen that a couple of times. We were trying to work out where he'd done that away from home, maybe Dundee. I don't know if anyone in the comments can remember where he curled one late on right into the corner just to see the game out. But he's got that, and I say, Dundee. Dundee was a good shout. I was challenging you.
I think he found the side net, but it was almost keeper couldn't move, rooted to the spot, and again, bang. I say that without being too dramatic, these 2s and 3s could be the difference at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? With a team that we're not scoring freely, I don't think we've got it. Isn't in this current squad's DNA to be going and putting teams to bed, and again having that killer instinct. So for me, I think it's days like today, chipping it off. That'll hurt both of the other two teams as well, because Hearts will now be looking over the shoulder. Everything is in our hands in terms of we've actually now got a draw up our sleeve. Do you know, again, we want to just keep winning, keep the momentum going, but we have got a draw up our sleeve now, which we didn't have before today.
Yeah.
So no, keep going, keep winning, keep the momentum going, and yeah, we'll look forward to hearing what the manager's comments are in terms of his reflections. I just hope that and I'm sure they are, the board are looking into supporting him.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to be at the Burns supper last night, New Edmonton House, and one thing me and my dad were discussing is just how aligned the club feels. Like the chairman spoke in terms of we're going to give Danny and the boys the best chance to be set up for success for the rest of the season. The manager then come out and spoke around. He's really pleased with the business that's been done so far. A little bit more to do, but the players are really taking on and listening to what the coaching team is saying. He praised his coaching team. Barry Ferguson was then up on stage really praising the manager in terms of what he's brought. Barry's not one to hold back on his thoughts, as we know. And he looked Danny Roll in the eye and said, "We've got a good one here, lads." And the place went up, and obviously there was a few whiskies and a few beers that had been supped at this point, but it was there, and obviously in the fans, every time there was an opportunity to sing the Danny Roll song, it was getting better.
I was going to say a word for the fans today, because there was a lot of promos the last 48 hours from the club about staying till the death and backing the team properly. This place was full today, and it was full right till the end there. I know it's a 1-0 game, so maybe that plays into it a little bit, but I've seen Ibrox empty, 80th, 85th minute at 1-0 many times before. The fans are backing this. There's fans staying back just to clap the team off the pitch.
Definitely.
They must feel $1 million right now, this team.
100%.
All across the board.
100%, yeah. And just back to that alignment piece, the fans is the missing piece of the jigsaw in terms of it's so important that we can come into games. Away games will always go in, and the fans away from home are always fantastic. Yeah. I think there's a genuine appreciation because of so few tickets that we get. You look at Porto on Thursday, we've got nothing to play for other than coefficiency points and pride. But we've sold the allocation. They probably could have tripled the allocation. There's people flying over there without tickets. My little brother's travelling with us, and he's after a ticket. If there's any spares, just drop us a PM. But yeah, obviously we're not going to fiddle the MyJS system. But yeah, if the fans are all in. We always have been. But one thing that's been missing is is kind of that alignment coming back from the club. But slowly but surely, we're getting there. As I say, we've just got to make sure that we. I still think with this squad, I still think there's going to be ups and downs throughout the season. I don't think this is a finished squad. It doesn't feel like the 55 season where you went through the squad and you know what, we've got 2 or 3 players for every position. We're strong. If somebody dropped out, we had plenty of goals within that team as well. If you think of the likes of Kamar Ruth, Morelos, Kent, Aribo, Itten, there was Tavernier. Even the defenders, but Barisic and Arfield, there was just goals all throughout the team. We haven't got that luxury here. So when we do get the wins, and whether we grind them out or whether it's not the prettiest, we just need to keep chipping away until we can get that mentality shift.
Yep. I like the term chipping away, because we're now in second on our own, 2 points clear of Celtic. So that's what you talk about. There's a slight slip up possible there, but we'll try and not talk about that. Right. But 4 points behind Hearts suddenly, which a few months ago, that is unthinkable. 8 wins in a row. With, again, we'll talk about it. The squad isn't perfect. There's no real goal scorers. Defence still give you a little bit of concern, albeit a remarkable clean sheet run at this point. 8 wins in a row. How?
Yeah.
How is Danny doing this?
I think
it's incredible.
You've got to give the manager so much credit, because I'm not being funny. I had wrote every single one of that squad off.
Yeah.
And I include Raskin. I include
Diamandis had pelters this season. Fernandez.
Diamandis. I think every single one of them, to be fair, at some point. Tav, it's a year too many. Magomas, it looks like a wee lost boy.
Moore had the same comments.
Yeah, I think we've all been consistent. I think Russell Martin got us off to sorry for saying his name.
Ruin my day.
Apologies if anyone's eating. He got us off to such a bad start of the season that you kind of just felt it was done. It was the season was over, like, and you kind of. I said to somebody in work, "He said, what's up with your face?" And I was like, "I just wish this season was over." And they're like, "Oh, come on, it can't be that bad." And you're like, "It is.
It can.
It can, Mick McCarthy." So. Yeah, it's the manager deserves so much credit, and if we're going to be fair as well and balanced, if we're going to criticise, we've got to give the players credit as well because they showed excellent character to turn it round, and it does look as if they're playing for each other. One thing you won't see on the telly, and again we've got an excellent view on it with the gantry access, but when the second one went in, the third one, all the players walked back towards the halfway line, and they were all having wee individual hugs with each other, as if to go, that's big, that's
together.
massive. It's like, come on. And so a few more of them. Let's roll into Thursday. Let's go and give a good account of ourselves. And then, bounce up to Easter Road and give them a doing as well.
Absolutely, yes. So we'll leave it there. Been a great day in the end. A few scares along the way, but a great day for Rangers. A massive one in this title race, obviously. We'll be back on Tuesday night with a bit more of a preview for Porto. We'll be then here after Porto, so make sure you're subscribing, you're liking the videos, following us on all platforms that we're at these days. We now have our own hats, which again, doing well. We'll have love in life. So I hope that carries on. But thanks all for joining us. We will see you next time. And cheers, guys.